Hi, we just developed this new kit. It's going to come with your davit, and it's going to replace this pin system. Problem with this pin system is it's kind of in a fixed location, and if there's some adjustability there, you can actually get more rise out of it for those of you that have a crazy amount of wash without really sacrificing any depth of the davit. So all in all, you get more travel. So what we're going to do here to retrofit the one that you already have is we're going to swap out the two outside pins. If you have an HD davit, you have one of these in the center. That one's okay. These pins here, when it goes in the upright position, is going to hit this arm. So we have these pins that'll come in your kit. They look like this here. And they got these little snap rings. You're just going to pull these pins out. I'm going to use a rubber mallet and this little piece just to tap on it a little bit. As I'm sliding it out, I'm going to put the other pin in to replace it. Already got the snap ring in on one side. I'm going to gently tap it. Push the pin through. And then I'm just going to replace the little C-clip on this side. Make sure it's all the way through and that it snaps in there properly. Put it over top. It's not the right tool to do this with, but a screwdriver would have been a little bit better, but I want to make a long video of these tools. So once you have that on there, you're going to make sure it's well seated. Same thing on the other side. And you're going to do that on both sides of the davit. I'm going to do that off video so you don't have to watch me do it. Now that we've replaced these two pins here, how these go on, this is going to face upwards. And they slide over this in this fashion here. We're going to adjust this up and down. And as you can see, when we mount the cylinder, no matter whether we mount the cylinder here or here, it really doesn't change much of the angle of the cylinder. Is going to change a little bit, but it's not going to change the height when it's down. When it goes up though, that'll be a different story. So right now we possibly might be able to keep this if we have enough rise, or we might have to remove this. We might even have to remove these bushings here. I believe I've already checked it real quick, and it looks like I'm gonna have to remove this bracket. On the back side of this bracket is the provision. There's a 1-inch gap there for that 1-inch post. That 1-inch post, if you need to buy some more, you can get it from us, but it's just 1x1 aluminum bars, so you can get that at any metal supplier. Probably cheaper than shipping, but anyways, whatever we need to do there. So now, for adjustment, what we're going to do is we're going to lift the davit, support it, pull the cylinder out. This is definitely a two-man job. I just don't have two people, so I'm going to struggle and do it myself. But I'm going to remove that, and what I'm going to do now is lift the davit all the way up without hitting my platform. And that's the kind of rise we're going to get compared to what we had before. As you can see, these pins are next to this arm, so they would have hit if they were the longer pins. Now you don't want to go so high, if this is for whatever reason you stuck it out here, so high that this is horizontal. Vertical. If you do it vertically, then there's no strength stopping this from dumping. So when it hits flush with the bottom here, we're going to call that maximum height. Okay? So if you see that this bottom part here is sticking out further, you've gone too high. So that's going to be at maximum height right there. Now what we're going to do to check our cylinders, we're going to bring our cylinder all the way down. Out. And that's going to be a new cylinder location. You can see it's much higher than it was before. But for my application, I believe it's too high for me to leave that existing mount. So I'm going to have to remove it. Check that. Yeah, a little bit too high. Close, close. So I'm going to do that off camera. I'm just going to remove this here. And then I'm going to move this support here onto this bar here. So you can see that. I move this to here and remove this bracket so I can drop this down a bit and get my cylinder in there where I need it. Okay, so then remove that. You do need to remove these bushings. The best way to do that is to grab something like this, like a 3/8 extension. Put it through the hole on the back side so you contact the bushing. Alright, so here comes the fun part. We get to adjust this. I'm going to grab a little magic marker So that way there, when I raise it, I know where it's gonna sit. So we're gonna slide this over the shaft. We get our cylinder in place. Pin there. Been super helpful to people, but there you go. Got that in place. Got it set up. I am now going to manually lift the davit as high as I can, and then mark where I need to drill the holes. There's going to be 2 bolts that are going to be in the kit, long bolts, similar to this. Then I go right through here and here, and that's what's going to hold this section in place. But for now, like I said, we need to decide where it needs to be. Extend that cylinder. Okay, cylinder's fully extended. We're going to raise this to our maximum height, which for us is the bottom's going to be flush here. Grab our magic marker. And that's it. So now we got our 2 marked sections here. We're going to shoulder back in. Make lots more sense to take our cylinder off when we do this. Alright, so now I'm just going to grab a drill. I'm going to raise that to where I need to be, and I'm going to drill my 2 holes. There. I'll use the actual part as a guide. Once you get your first hole drilled, grab your bolt, stick it in there. It's not drilled all the way through, it's just drilled on one side. And then I'll pull everything in place while you drill the other holes. And I'm just going to drill this hole here on this side. I'm going to go to the other side and drill it from the back side versus trying to go all the way through and hoping that I'm square. That won't be. We've gone all the way through. Push the bolts right across. Everything will line up nice. Alright, we've got everything in. The bars are in. Everything's good. Let's raise this thing up. Take it easy. We're going to make sure we're not going to hit our platform or anything. That's it, all the way up. It's good. I get you to take a good look at that. Go a lot more height. Got some clearance on our platform. We are not higher than this. That's good. Perfect. Everything's lined up nicely. And let's go all the way in the water. There we go. If, for whatever reason, you're not low enough, you'd have to adjust this a little bit shorter, obviously, to bring this in a little bit. There's not that much difference between being in this location and this, because this mount here is a little bit further in and this here is further out. I think it's like 600 thou, 5/8 difference. So height wise, there won't be a huge difference, but there will be a little bit. Let's go all the way out again. There she is.